Module 15, the urinary system. Blood pressure control by the kidneys.
Your kidneys play several major roles in your body. Besides filtering waste from your blood, they also help control your blood pressure. You see, blood volume and blood pressure are connected to each other. Now, the greater the blood volume, the greater the blood pressure. The lesser the blood volume, the lesser the blood pressure. I have these two water balloons for you to see as an example. They're actually the same size balloon, but one is filled with more water, more volume than the other one, less volume. Which one do you think has greater pressure? If I were to squeeze these, which one do you think would pop more easily? Obviously the one with greater volume and greater pressure. So use this as a visual to help you remember the greater blood volume, the greater the blood pressure, and the lesser the blood volume, the lesser the blood pressure.
You can see then that since the kidneys control how much water is in the blood, they can affect blood pressure. Lower blood pressure or decreased sodium ions in the blood can be identified in the afferent arteriole by the juxtaglomerular cells. These cells can identify any changes. If they do, they will release renin, which is an enzyme. Renin works to activate a blood protein called angiotensinogen, which is produced in the liver. This protein is a precursor protein. It doesn't directly affect blood pressure, but it's a molecule that can eventually result in a molecule that can. Renin causes angiotensinogen to make a peptide called angiotensin 1. As angiotensin 1 moves through the lungs, it comes in contact with another enzyme to activate it, resulting in angiotensin 2. This is the active substance, and it can do several things. 1, it increases vasoconstriction in the body. That's why the root tensin is in its name. You can think of it causing the blood vessels to tense up or constrict. And as blood vessels constrict, the blood pressure increases. Angiotensin 2 also causes thirst. Drinking fluid will increase blood pressure because the more water in the blood, the greater the volume, which results in higher blood pressure. A third thing it can do is increase salt appetite or a desire to eat salt. That's because one of the things that the juxtaglomerular cells respond to is lower sodium ion levels. By taking in more salt in the body, then that will increase sodium ion concentration. The fourth and final thing that angiotensin 2 does is to cause the release of aldosterone, which is a hormone made by the adrenal cortex, which increases sodium ion reabsorption in the kidneys, and that will increase sodium ion concentrations in the blood. Higher sodium ion concentrations help to increase blood pressure. That's because with more sodium ions, the blood absorbs more water, because more water will be attracted to greater concentrations of solute. And more water in the blood results in greater blood volume, which means greater blood pressure. Now there's a hormone that works opposite to this. Atrial natriuretic hormone is released by the atria of the heart. If there's a high blood volume, then the extra blood causes the atria to stretch. That triggers this hormone's release. It will hinder the nephrons in the kidneys from reabsorbing sodium ions. That decreases how much water can be reabsorbed, and that will lower blood volume, thus lowering blood pressure.